Valencia is a city of contrasts. A charming historic center, surrounded by ancient walls of the old capital of the Kingdom of Valencia, while also home to the futuristic City of Arts and Sciences. And that's before we even tasted the paella, or dipped our toes into the Mediterranean.
La ciutat de les arts i la ciència.
This futuristic complex stretches over 2 kilometers along the Turia River and includes several stunning examples of avant-garde architecture, designed by architects Santiago Calatrava and Felix Candela. It is one of Europe's most impressive centers dedicated to cultural and scientific exhibitions with 6 main areas.
Hemisfèric.
An IMAX cinema, screening 3D films and serving as a planetarium.
Umbracle.
A landscaped area with distinctive views.
Museu de les Ciències.
An interactive museum with exhibits about science, environment, and technology.
Oceanogràfic.
Europe's largest aquarium. And finally,
Palau de les Arts i Agora.
Opera House and the Agora concert space. Well worth a visit, even if only for the staggering, ultra-modern architecture.
Oceanogràfic.
The crown jewel of the City of Arts and Sciences is the largest aquarium in Europe, Oceanographic. It's a complex of several buildings, each dedicated to one of the Earth's most important marine ecosystems and environments, with a mind-blowing 45,000 individual animals, from 500 different species, using real seawater, pumped from Valencia's waterfront. You can walk through the longest underwater tunnel in Europe, where you're surrounded on both sides, and overhead, by swimming sharks. At the Arctic tank, you'll get to meet the only family of beluga whales on the continent, swimming in a spacious and thoughtfully designed tank. Don't forget to visit dolphins at play, in the dolphinarium. Plan at least 2 hours for your visit, and try to book tickets in advance, as the queue can get quite long. It all adds up to a day adults and little ones won't soon forget.
Torres de Serranos y Torres de Quart.
This impressive landmark is a symbol of Valencia, and represents one of 12 entries through the original, medieval city gates. Built in the 14th century, this ancient town gate was considered the main entrance to the city. Massive towers offer sweeping views of the city. If time permits, visit also the nearby Torres de Quart towers, riddled with bullet holes from Napoleon's troops.
Playa de la Malvarrosa.
You can enjoy sunbathing on a Mediterranean beach within minutes of the old town. Malvarrosa is a wide strip of golden sand that stretches for a kilometer along the city's seafront, offering a wide range of outdoor activities. It got its name when it was transformed from a swampy area into a hollyhock flower plantation in the middle of the 19th century. Along the promenade, a broad selection of restaurants and entertainment awaits you to complete the experience.
A quick bonus tip.
You might know paella as Spain's most famous dish, but this renowned delicacy can be traced back to the mid-19th century to the rural area around Valencia. The name comes from the large iron pans that it is cooked and served in. The most popular version today is seafood paella, with prawns and squid, but the traditional paella valenciana is made with green and white beans, chicken, duck or rabbit, an occasional addition of snails. For the best paella in Valencia, try restaurants frequented by locals. Don't forget to make a reservation, or even pre-order, as you can expect to wait at least 30 minutes for the real deal. And don't forget some local Aqua de Valencia cocktail to go with it.
Mercado Central y la Lonja de la Seda.
Central Market is a must-see. This magnificent, Art Nouveau building is a foodie heaven and the largest covered food market in Europe. Its extensive array of fresh produce is a real treat. Stop by one of the many colorful stalls and grab some fresh fruits from the nearby orchards. Walk along rows of hanging jamón and a selection of fresh seafood. Stop by a bakery or indulge in the great selection of aged cheeses and olives available. In addition to the grocery stalls, there are also a number of stands with ready-to-eat food for a bite on the go. you'll find paellas, tortillas, churros, sweets, and more within the delicious aisles of the food market. Prices here can be higher than in your average supermarket, but it is definitely worth experiencing the market like a local, while also getting superior quality of produce, as well as supporting local businesses, which is always a good feeling. Just across the street, you can find magnificent, late 15th century Silk Exchange, the masterpiece of Valencian Gothic architecture, La Lonja de la Seda. This UNESCO World Heritage Site resembles a medieval castle and represents the Valencian Golden Age, when it was one of the most influential cities on the Mediterranean, even funding Christopher Columbus' voyage to the Americas.
Catedral de Valencia y el Miguelete.
This former Roman temple, and later Moorish mosque, is without a doubt one of the most unusual cathedrals in Spain. Built between the 13th and 15th centuries, the architecture is a blend of stylistic influences, including Gothic, Renaissance, and Baroque. The most sacred, and perhaps controversial object, is a reliquary containing the Holy Chalice, an artifact from the 1st century AD, said to be the goblet that Jesus used to perform the Holy Eucharist at the Last Supper. The cathedral's octagonal bell tower originally stood completely detached from the main building, but extensions in the late 15th century brought the two structures together. It only takes 207 narrow steps to the best panoramic views, 50 meters above the city, and a chance to admire the famous Old Bell, cast in 1432. With its light weight of over 10 tons, it is affectionately called El Miguelete, Little Michael.
Plaza de la Virgen.
On your way to the cathedral, stop at this iconic central square. Plaza de la Virgen is among the oldest in Valencia, dating back to Roman times, and is full of life no matter the time of day. Graceful Neptune Fountain at the center is a favorite meeting place among locals. The square is surrounded by several landmarks. Across the square is the Palace of the Generalitat. Cathedral de Valencia is a beautiful centerpiece, and right next to it is the Basilica de la Virgen de los Desamparados, the first Baroque church in Valencia. The colorful buildings and scent of nearby restaurants simply add to the experience.
Jardín del Turia.
Turia Garden is not your usual city park, but rather a former riverbed, converted into green spaces, supplemented with playgrounds and sports facilities. After a devastating flood in 1957, the Turia River's course was diverted south of the city. This 9 kilometers long ribbon of greenery runs from the biopark to the City of Arts and Sciences and on towards the sea. It boasts footpaths, leisure and sports areas, as well as lovely romantic spots where you can unwind.
Parque Gulliver.
If you're visiting with little ones, you can't miss Gulliver Park, a 70-meter-long sculpture of giant Gulliver, with ramps, slides, and staircase for children to climb like Lilliputians.
Biopark Valencia.
Experience Africa in this incredibly immersive zoo. The landscape is created to resemble animals' native habitats as closely as possible. If you need some extra cuteness in your life, don't hesitate to put Biopark on your to-do list, as it is the next best thing to a safari visit.
Plaza de Toros de Valencia y Estación del Norte.
On the southern side of the Old Town, look for the near-Mudéjar Plaza de Toros bullring, inspired by Roman architecture, like the Colosseum in Rome. It was built between 1850 and 1859, and is one of the more beautiful, as well as bigger bullrings in Spain. It was designed to hold almost 17,000 seated spectators, later reduced to a capacity between 10 and 12,000. Next to the plaza, you'll find the spectacular Estacio del Nord, the main railway station in Valencia. The building is an Art Nouveau masterpiece, with decorations honoring the importance of the Valencian orange trade. It is still an active railway station, 100 years after it opened.
Las Fallas.
Probably the noisiest and most colorful fiesta in Spain, marks the beginning of spring on St. Joseph's Day, the 19th of March. During the festivities, time is measured in cups of hot chocolate, with the side of churros, glasses of horchata with fartones, and other traditional food. Throughout the week, ninots, huge, satirically themed cardboard sculptures, make their way around the city, and are then burned in the krama, massive fires at midnight on the last day of the fiesta. Custom originates from the Middle Ages, when carpenters and other craftsmen would burn leftover scraps of wood and other materials on the Fiesta de San Jose. Moorish treasures, delicious food, fiery drinks, a gorgeous beach, lively cultural scene and language diversity. It's really hard not to fall in love with Valencia. As the locals say, Valencia is a little piece of heaven, fallen to earth. We simply have to agree.